The Legal Paige here to talk all about a second shooter contract and why you need one. Some of you out there that are wedding photographers have just been friends with people, you do a handshake deal, you talk over the phone, maybe you just message on DMs being like, hey, do you want to shoot this wedding with me? And that's it. Newsflash, you need a second shooter contract. And I cannot begin to tell you why they are so important because I've had so many sticky legal situations that come about when second shooters who you trusted and you thought were super loyal end up using images or poaching clients of yours. So let's talk about a few things that are in this contract that I created just for you. So within the second shooter contract, the first thing that's super important is a copyright clause, all about a work made for hire situation. And that's just a bunch of legal terms that you don't need to worry about because I wrote all of it for you in this clause. But you want to ensure that you, as the lead photographer, own the copyright to all of the images that they shoot for you during that wedding day. That's in your copyright clause. Now, the second thing that kind of correlates to that is what images can those second shooters even use? There's no right or wrong answer to this. And in our contract, we have two different options. One, with an option for them to use, say, 5 to 10 different images within a certain period of time after the wedding so that you're the first photographer that has all of those images come out online and on your website. So say within 8 weeks or 12 weeks after the wedding, you will allow the second shooter to use just 5 to 10 images. And then do they need to tag you as being a second shooter at that wedding? Make sure that's all outlined in your contract, and don't worry, it's in the TLP contract. Or you can choose the option, which is totally fine, to not allow your second shooter to use any of those images. Remember, you're just hiring them to shoot alongside you. You own all the images as the main lead photographer, and it's totally fine if they're not allowed to use those for their own portfolio. They are learning a ton from you as they work alongside you during the day. The next thing that you also need to have in your second shooter agreement is fees. When do they get paid? Do they get paid a portion as you book them as the second shooter and then pay a portion after they send you the raw images on the memory card that they give to you so that you can edit all of the images? Also, what are their roles for culling? Do they just hand over that memory card and then you transfer those files onto your hard drive and then you're in charge of all culling and editing? Or is that second shooter also in charge of, say, culling 500 to 1,000 images from that wedding and then delivering those photos to you? That needs to be in your contract as well. Also, make sure that you outline that they are an independent contractor. It's super important for tax purposes. Make sure that they are actually their own photography business and make sure that they invoice you for the pay that you are going to give them. So from their business to yours, they send you the invoice before you pay them. And I would always suggest that you put in your contract that they have their own business insurance. That will ensure that they are fully in all tax realm world an independent contractor and not an employee. You guys, there's so much more in the second shooter contract. Like I said, I highly recommend that you get this as a wedding photographer. You can get it now at thelegalpaige.com, and there's the full list of all of the additional clauses in there.